There you go.
Hello, welcome back for another live episode of Modern Dating WTF right here in Berwyn, Pennsylvania at Midtown Social. My name is Rosanna. I am the owner of BeVisionary, where we do singles events in PA, New Jersey, and Delaware by age. And then my co-host.
What's the ages?
I'll tell you in a second.
Oh,
Let's introduce you first.
well, our ages are 21 and up.
That's true.
So this is Midtown Social.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
It's a place for, people to come out and be social again. Kind of get off the internet, stop trolling. I don't know. I mean, just kind of like get out and actually,
like you,
get out of your basement with your 6 cats and come to the restaurant. You know what I mean? Like, far be it for me to.
Oh boy. So this is my co-host, Mike DiDomenico from Midtown Social. He is the owner. So if you stop in, make sure to say hello.
Absolutely. Make sure you have somewhat of a sense of humor, especially if you're watching the show. While we do try to give you some great insight on the modern dating world and how difficult it is out there, we also like to do it with a little bit of a laugh.
Yeah. Actually, I agree with that.
We try to bring a little bit of comedy. It's meant to be a little bit of a,
So that's the key, right? Is that today's world of modern dating could have you crying. So instead of crying, what we've decided is we're going to bring everybody together and we are going to talk about the crazy so that we can laugh at it.
When's the last time you cried?
Oh, that's a good question.
Do you cry less as you get older?
Yes, much less. Nothing is detrimental.
Like, I think when I was 21, I think like that, when a relationship ended, you're like, I'm going to kill myself. What am I doing? Now you're like, all right, see ya. I got my side of the bed back. Like,
no, you're
I do love you. I'm going to miss you, but, it's time to move on.
I think I maybe cried maybe twice in my most recent breakup. And that. So,
You cried over that one?
I did. Yes. I mean, it's always sad to see something end. Wait, you and Emma?
You were sad.
You wouldn't cry if you and your girl were to break up?
I don't cry.
You would not cry?
I only cry at funerals.
Okay. All right. I'm going to hold you to that. Okay.
I never officially break up with a girlfriend. I mean,
let's hope you don't break up. All right. We are digressing.
We could see each other at the old age home, when we're both single in the 70s. Maybe we'll see each other again. If we're meant to be together, we're meant to be together. That's my good old grandma used to say.
We're digressing right now. Okay. Yes. All right. So anyway.
That's why they call it train wreck.
We are. That's true. That's true. Talking about everything and anything. So, as I mentioned, I do dating events or singles events, PA, New Jersey, and Delaware by age. So the age groups are 23 to 38-ish, 38 to 55-ish, and then 50 or 55 plus.
So 38 divided by 2 adds 7. So it should be 24 to 38.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that rule?
No.
So if you're in your
help me out.
If you're in your 50s, you shouldn't date. You divide by 2 and add 7.
So
if you're 50, you shouldn't date younger than 32.
Oh.
I don't know who came up with it, but it's not a bad rule.
No, it's not a bad rule.
I think it's like I'm not a creeper. Like you're if you stick with that rule, you don't qualify for like woman hate.
I appreciate you sharing that because I have to tell you, recently I've been thinking about how low am I willing to go. Especially after my last one, right? Like how low am I willing to go? Because
I think 21's the limit for you. I'm
really struggling with men my age. It's really, really hard.
Do you think it's because of politics?
So I will tell you that I'm not very political, but I have seen that there are a lot of people out there that are, and they are making partner decisions based off of their views.
I think it's pretty crazy. So as we all know, or some of you may know, whatever, I am involved mildly in politics, more for local governance and things. But it is amazing when you see how how committed people are to things, some things they know nothing about, and some things they can't change, right? Like
they know the subject, they know the name of the subject, and then that's it. That's all they need to know.
But it's also some things you can't change. So like you're gonna hate your neighbor or break up with your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever for some politician that would literally run you over with their car on the way to the $30 trillion shelter in the middle of the ending of the world.
I have to say
it's crazy. I think it's not a. Both sides are crazy.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm Italian. Right?
No.
Just by default, I'm a very passionate person. I'm a very opinionated person, right? But I got to tell you, politics is one area that I have never bothered to delve into And the reason being is because I know I am smart enough to realize that I'm not going to be able to change anything unless I were to like get into office myself
Right.
and really try to influence things at the, in a deeper level, which I have no desire to do. I know that I'm not going to be able to influence things. So why get so worked up about it?
Federally,
Why?
I don't really
Why?
get heated about it.
Yeah.
Like, locally, because of taxes and things that affect my everyday life.
Yeah.
I'm heated about it, and I think that people should not worry about party and worry about policy, right? But as far as like relationships, to be like, I have a difficult time talking to my brother because after about 15 minutes on the phone with him, he'll start getting into, do you know what Trump did? And I couldn't imagine dating somebody, and regardless of either side, do you know what Biden did? Whatever, it doesn't matter, right? Could you imagine being with somebody and every 15, 20 minutes in a conversation sitting at a table and it's like, do you know what happened on the, and do you know what the, and do you know, oh my God, where are our kids? Or did they get home from school today? Are they okay? Like, calm down. And I think people are like absorbed by social media and they don't realize the algorithm is working their brain. If you like Democrat stuff, you're going to see it 1,000 times a day. If you like Republican stuff, you're going to see it 1,000 times a day. That stuff is rotting your brain. The online stuff. And by the way, I am mildly guilty, but more because of my local situation.
So I'm curious from the audience, if you don't mind, at this point of where we are in our environment, right? Would you date someone who has an opposing political view? And you guys could chat it, or you could actually give us a call. We'd love to hear from you.
We got 12, 11 viewers. We just lost a viewer because we brought up the topic of politics. Holy shit! Now we're down to 10. But somebody give us a comment here. Anybody?
In the Facebook.
All right, we're stopping politics. We just lost 3 viewers, so we need to go.
There is a link where you can call in if you wanted to call in and have a discussion about this. I'd love to hear from you, one way or the other. I mean, if you feel like you could never be with somebody who has an opposing view, I respect that. Or if you say, I don't really care, I don't care enough, and by the way, I want to love somebody for no matter what.
Don't think we're just bringing this up. Like, this is a hot topic. So I was looking at a bunch of the singles sites, and this topic came up numerous times. And it even came up on a show, which we can't ruin because apparently it's a spoiler thing, but it came up on a show that is on national television. And, it's a very interesting, yes, as long as he doesn't talk about politics often. Okay. All right. Politics is an absolute no. So neither one of you want to date people that even talk about politics, or is it absolute no for politics?
Maybe not, because folks get so crazy. Exactly. And nobody respects opposing views anymore.
So have you just checked out of politics, right? Which probably isn't the worst mental health.
Honestly, I've checked out a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't even watch the news because I want to live in my bubble.
You just want to think the world is all right.
No,
full of fairy dust.
I mean, I recognize that the world is not, all, roses and whatnot.
Right.
But I don't want to have to hear about it all day, every day. I don't watch the news.
I just want to pick up my Tesla without having to run over a bunch of people. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the end thing. And I bought it, and now I'm stuck with this $60,000, $40,000 replace the battery thing, and now it's not okay to have one anymore. Seriously.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You bought a Tesla?
I hate to interrupt this, but kind of breaking news.
What the hell just happened?
That boyfriend
from
last week's show is going to sue Trainwreck, Roe, and Coleman, and any other podcast she's on.
Oh.
Share that with, in case you want to share that with the audience.
So for those who...
Were you with us last week?
Right. For those who listened last week, or 2 weeks ago, we had a guest on the show who was sharing her most recent situation with her ex-boyfriend, and it did not end well. And apparently, after the show, there was a lot of
it sparked some old memories.
Right. It sparked some old memories and a little anger. And things are happening right now
as we speak. But I would say that that is not our intention for the show.
No, it is not.
The show is to let everybody know that we all have bad things happen in our relationships, and we all have bad breakups, and it's a horrible thing. There's 2 sides to every story, of which there are probably 2 sides of that story. We hope they settle things amicably.
I agree. Maybe we need to bring him on the show to give his side.
If things settle down, we may. We did talk, and he seemed like things were pretty well settled down. So
Politics is
Apparently
just
not.
one topic to talk about. There's so much more to speak on. I completely agree, Jordan. I think that people
The news.
have lost touch with what is important for a relationship to survive. And I understand that you may not always agree on every subject, but that doesn't mean that you can't still love the person for who they are and
I
their
mean,
heart.
there's people in this town that don't talk to their neighbors that were friends for 20 years. I mean, if you're that polarized, you can't possibly make it work if you're that polarized.
That's true.
You know,
That is true.
I mean, because it comes down to like, I have a friend that doesn't talk to me anymore, and it was about women's rights. And I'm like, I'm your friend. I would protect you till the end. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's not that, the reasons for my decision versus your decision weren't because of that, right? So it's like, I don't know. I mean, I think people are taking it a little too far. But I don't I don't have time for the crazies on the right. I don't have time for the crazies on the left. Like, let's just all try to be down the middle and get along.
Agree.
So
Agree.
anyway,
That's my view.
we thought it was a hot topic, and
Yeah, especially because there's a recent reality TV show where it definitely
they made an issue out.
it was definitely prevalent on the TV show. We're not going to say which show.
So do you think that was, if you've seen the show, don't ruin it for everybody. Do you think that was staged due to politics?
No.
Like due to the world as we see it?
No.
I don't know. I question that.
I don't think so.
I question that is hot TV, and it's a way to get both sides interested.
I mean, I think that potentially
I think
they
it's staged.
chose that person knowing how strongly they
I
felt.
think we didn't land on the moon. The Earth is flat, and that episode was staged.
Well, thank you for sharing all your thoughts.
Keep in mind, there's a little humor in there. Relax, everybody. All right, calm down.
Talk about something that you have control of. Politics isn't one of them. Agreed, Jordan. I don't know. I'm open to different ideas, but I do think some folks get very pissed. Agreed.
Yeah.
And that's the key is you can have these conversations. Back in the day, we were able to openly have these conversations and people respected the opposite's opinion for the most part. And we moved on. We agreed to disagree and still respected each other. But that has gone out the window.
I think one way, if you want to see if you're in love and politics is a problem, right? I think one way is to, as a couple, is to disengage from social media and the internet for 30 days and focus on your partner. Now, by the way, social media has its whole other issues, right? But if that's something that you're focused on and worried about, you have social media hitting you all the time, you're never going to get through to that person. But I think you disconnect from the internet, disconnect from social media, and try to make your relationship work for 30 days if you really want to see if it works. And then if it doesn't work after that, then you can move on.
Good idea.
But I think that we are all getting hit with so much information
that is swaying us. One way or the other.
Yeah. And I think it is there is the thing about disconnecting from social media for like 30, 60, 90 days for work, right? For people to, like, your memory actually comes back. Like, I don't remember your name right now as we sit here.
Gee, okay, thanks.
Right.
Okay.
But apparently when you disconnect from...
I'm sorry, what were you saying, Joe?
Exactly. Right. So apparently when you disconnect...
Anyway, moving on. So I think the gist is that our listeners...
Wait, would we do a virtual singles event?
I read that, Taylor. I would consider it.
Like,
I'm not sure why we would.
Like in the metaverse?
COVID's
like, could we get a little,
people like to get out, but
could I have a different avatar? Could I get an avatar with like a dress? Okay.
Single first, and then you can attend.
Is it cheating if you're in the metaverse?
Oh my goodness. Yes, it's still cheating.
I mean,
it's still cheating.
All right.
It's a thought.
All right. I'm still working on my AI girlfriend, but
all right. So it's pretty evident that
GPT's voice is still
most
male.
of our listeners and me do not care about politics. What we do care about is finding love, finding that person that is going to make our lives better and more fun, and find our best friends. So
I found that.
I'm sorry.
I found that.
You found that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy.
I keep her tied
for
up.
you.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you. And it's possible. It's still possible to find, right? I think that we just need to get back to some of the old morals and values that we used to have.
You mean like the 10 Commandments?
Yeah.
Most of them, like eight of them are pretty cool.
10 Commandments, but I think
don't sleep with your neighbor's wife.
No, it's funny because we have a guest coming on tonight that I spoke with, and I have to tell you that he brought this back up for me, that I really think that we do need to talk about, which is how modern dating has unfortunately changed people's morals and values. And it's either you adapt or you are asked out, unfortunately, in many situations.
I think it really does come back to people need to get out of the house, man.
Yeah, no,
honestly,
it
like
has
half the
nothing to do
people.
with it has nothing to do with getting out of the
But
house.
I'm just saying, like half the people I fight with online about stupid shit. Like if first of all, if you met them in person, probably none of them would say half the stuff they say.
That I agree with. I agree with you. I feel like people are definitely more willing to
Emboldened.
be bold
Right.
online, behind a phone, behind a computer, versus when in person.
Right.
I completely
And
agree.
honestly, women use it because it's like, oh, I have 500 likes today and I'm hot. And it's like, well, you're probably not as hot as you think you are. Maybe you should just get back to that guy. He was nice. And I think there's a lot of that. And I think men do it too, but we don't get the likes. We don't get the likes in the DMs as a crutch, right?
Mhm.
So we're not getting 500 hearts and 500 DMs and dick pics and all this stuff, whether you
Sounds like
like
you're a
it.
little salty, Mike.
Not at all. I have a girlfriend. I'm happy.
Okay.
But I think that from a women's standpoint, they get this sometimes, in some cases, get an overinflated ego, right? And then pass on guys that might have been the right guy for them. Never thought about that. Okay.
No, can't say I have.
All right. Well, apparently I'm going to get some hate mail today.
So I think what I would love to do is I would love to bring on our guest.
We have a guest today?
We do. We do.
Lane?
And it's a he, Lane.
Lane.
Okay. Yes.
All right.
I think we would love to bring on our guest because I think he's going to be able to shed some light on his experience.
Wait,
when he got back into the dating world. Yes.
Real quick, Drew, nice guys finished last. You are correct because I am an asshole and I have an amazing girlfriend. You don't have to be that just disappeared. You should be nice, okay? And you should be a gentleman, but you should still be strong and direct and
I hate to say this, Drew,
protective.
but let's just be real. Women want men with an edge.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't want men who are going to allow us to step all over them. We just don't. We want a man that's going to stand up to us. We want a man who
Unless it's a Democrat
who
woman.
takes control, who takes lead.
I just got stabbed.
OMG. We want a man. We want a manly man, right? We want somebody who is going to definitely lead us. We don't want to be the leader. So I think what Mike is trying to say is yes, you want to be respectful and loving, but at the same time, still be a man. And that's not easy. It's not easy. But
Right.
it's definitely feasible, right? Would you agree?
No,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, we offer.
Yeah. Okay. So why don't we go ahead and Selena's laughing.
It's my girl.
Can't be both. No, you definitely can be both, Drew. We'll talk about that one day.
If you would like to talk to Rosanna, she has a she is very good at matching people and coming to one of her singles events, and
he comes to our events.
Okay, well, you should talk to her a little more.
Thank you, though.
And I think that you might have.
Yeah. We'll talk, Drew. We'll talk. So with that said, Jimmy, why don't we go ahead and bring Lane on? Hi, Lane.
Hello.
Oh, how you?
There we are.
Are you raising your hand at us? No, I'm just kidding.
Can I speak?
Yes. It's like, shut the hell up. I'm supposed to be a guest on the show. It's almost over.
So, Lane, it looks like you're taking advantage of the nice weather. Good for you.
I am. It's finally nice here.
I know. Yeah.
Where? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Midwest. He's in the Midwest.
Yeah, okay. I'm in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So you and I had a conversation earlier today, which I found to be extremely enlightening. I don't know about you, but I just loved our conversation. It really did. It brought me back to the days of when I first got divorced and stepping my foot into. I've only been divorced once.
Oh,
sorry. Hell no. I don't know if I'll ever do it again.
So far.
Yeah, I don't know. So I would love if maybe you could start with how long you were married, your divorce and where it took you after you got divorced and what that looked like for you, what you experienced.
A train wreck afterwards, but a fun train wreck.
Okay.
I can tell you that. But yeah, I was married for 7 years ish. We were together for 10. And like you said, like, you don't know if you'll ever do that again. I'm definitely a one and doneer. Would never do that again. But yeah, it was an interesting experience, you know. And as I had told, go ahead. What's that?
Would you would you live together with somebody? Like, you're gonna get old with somebody? Or like that's it, you're done? Yeah.
I don't know if I would. And we talked about that a little bit. And being divorced now for almost 10 years, I love my solitude. And I don't know if I could have somebody up in my business all the time, you know?
I get it.
On the other hand, yes, there is that part as I get older, especially like, God, but you know what? How am I going to feel when I'm 65 or 70? You know, like, I may want that person around, and maybe that will happen, but I don't know. That's not a goal right now, you know?
Yeah, right now it's just you're not there. I get it.
As my good old grandmother used to say, when it happens, it happens. When you least, it'll happen when you least expect it.
That is so true. That is so true.
And that's kind of the hope too. Yeah, maybe someone will just come along, because I'm not looking anymore. It's like, I'm done, you know?
Yeah, when you stop trying, it happens.
Yeah, right.
But still don't get married. It's not worth financially. It's a horrible idea.
And you know what? I do want to throw in there real quick. Going to a singles event doesn't necessarily mean that you're trying or looking. Keep in mind that these events are not only meant for dating, they are meant to get like-minded people in a room, out of the house, enjoying each other's company. And I tell people all the time, go to these events without expecting anything. You go in expecting to have a good time, meet new people. And if you happen to come across somebody who floats your boat and there's a connection, wonderful. It's icing on the cake.
Well, you make a good point, by the way, because it's when you go out with married people all the time and you're the single person,
right. Exactly.
Somebody's always assuming you're trying to bang their wife.
Oh, I can't say I've experienced that. Although I have to say, you know what's funny? Okay.
No, come on. True story. Like,
you're right.
You go out with a couple people. I mean, you know, look, I said a little shock factor, whatever. Everyone calm down, right? But the bottom line is, if you're going out with couples all the time, you're always like the third wheel, right? So when you go to a singles event and everyone's single, you all have one thing in common.
Big like-minded.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. And that's one thing I hear.
If you bang somebody's wife, you didn't know because she was at a singles event.
And that's one thing I hear all the time from singles is that they don't have other single friends to do things with. So this is your way of meeting people who are in the same boat that you could go out and do things with.
So it's like like-minded.
Yeah. So I have to tell you real quick, you're not wrong about the couples thinking that. So I can't tell you throughout my life.
I wouldn't have brought it
throughout my life. And I'm not that girl. I'm not going to sit there and be with somebody's husband. And I can't tell you the number of times that I have had women hate me without even knowing me, hating me.
Understandable.
Number one. Number two, I have been accused of being with people's husbands when I wasn't. I've lost friends over it. Yeah. It's I've had husbands hit on me and then turn around and say that I hit on them. Yeah. So you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I've had girls hit on me, and then hit on my girlfriend.
Yeah.
It was just last week.
All right, moving on. But you're not wrong.
And I got more trouble for her hitting on her than I did for her hitting on me, by the way.
So moving on. So, all right, Lane, you get divorced.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Make this stuff up.
And it was a traumatic divorce. It was a amicable divorce.
It was amicable. Yeah.
Okay.
But it was one of those, and I think most people are probably like this. My head was out of the game for a while before the separation ever happened, right? And, you know, stuck around because we had a kid. I'm like, I'm not going to get divorced for stupid reasons, you know, but it wasn't working. And finally, it's like, we got to end this thing, you know?
Got it. Yep. Okay. So, and Jeff, I'm very happy to hear that I'll be seeing you on Wednesday night, by the way.
Thanks,
okay.
Mom.
So, and that is a win-win, Mike. Okay. So, what I will ask is now you are divorced, right?
Yes. Yep.
And you step your toe into the dating world.
I sure did. My first time experiencing apps.
Mm-hmm. And what that looked like.
my mind was blown. I couldn't believe it. Number one, I loved the accessibility. Like, oh, I can just jump on all these apps and find dates. That part was cool.
And it's not like ordering a pizza, though.
Well, kind of, yeah.
It depends. You want a shitty pizza and it's 3 a.m, I guess.
Yeah, right. Even a bad pizza is still pizza, right? But yeah, so I jumped into that world, and man, my mind was blown, because leading up to that, it was about 10 years ago, I had always dated traditionally. You know, it was more of a monogamous kind of long-term dater. I had a handful of long-term relationships from 16, 17 on until I got married. I was 30-ish or so. Then, you know, come 40 years old and get divorced. And I just come into this whole new world thinking,
like getting let out of prison.
It really kind of was. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I know what that's like, but I imagine it was probably like that. Yeah.
I mean,
sure you don't. No,
me neither.
So let's talk about that a little bit, Lane. So what you're saying is that you remember the old days where you would go out, you'd meet somebody, you enjoy each other's company, you hang out. It's not even a discussion of, it's just you form into a relationship, right? It's like you
Right,
just, it's
exactly.
understood.
You met
It's
at church.
understood. Right, you met at church.
Where I used to meet all my
Yes,
nice girls.
Yeah. And you know,
Easter.
it just forms into a relationship.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
you're monogamous. There's no ands or buts about it. You're monogamous, right?
Right.
Then you get onto these dating sites, and what did you find? What did you learn very quickly?
Well, I learned very quickly that everybody's dating everybody, and that was new to me. Now, I have to say, my intention going in was, oh, this is great. You mean I can just go date all these people and just get laid, and you know. So I went into it thinking that, but it was all great on paper. But that just wasn't my vibe, really. You know, it was like, oh, I don't know about all this, because I would catch feelings. You know, and I'm like, hold on,
you
wait.
wuss.
I know, right? But I'll tell you this. The experience, it taught me a lot. I came in pretty naive and came out of it. I'm like, okay, I get it now. I was very dating naive, and you get to a place of, I don't
Saturday,
give a damn
you're
quick.
date number 6 for the week. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Wait,
Yes,
I have a question.
Yeah,
I have a question.
You're like the meal plan.
All right, so I have a question for you, Lane.
Yeah.
Knowing the old days and how the old days were, and knowing today's world and how today is, which one do you prefer?
Now that's a good question. I would like a mix of both. You know, I'd say I think I like how it is now better.
You're more of like a Match.com than a Tinder guy.
No, I hated Match.
No,
Tinder.
he used to be a Match.com guy. Now he's a Tinder
guy.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
And that's actually a very good segue into your story.
Oh boy, that story, the stalker ex.
Oh, we love
and all that she came with.
Oh boy,
and the public appearances and all of the
all right, how do I keep this clean? Yeah, she came with a lot. Introduced me to new worlds. I can tell you that, because I was a pretty, traditional kind of dude. I'll put it this way. I was more of a missionary kind of guy. And I was introduced to a lot.
I'm never going to get on the board of supervisors ever.
New worlds. And it was exhilarating. I'll tell you that. Like, whoa, this is wild. Public displays of things and extracurricular activities. It was just this wild ride that I had never experienced. And it was great. It was just as crazy as it was great, though, because, well, number one, she was going through a separation. So she says. I mean,
supposedly, yeah.
After the fact, it turns out she was just lying about everything, right? So
I think I dated her.
What? Yeah. But it was just nuts. It was crazy, it was partying all the time when I didn't have my kid, that is. The partying, and she was into doing things when people were right there, and I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I'll go with this. But yeah, it got a little nuts, and she got obsessed with me very quickly, dropped an I love you within a week or two, and I'm like, yeah, I'm out. But she reeled me back in, put on the waterworks.
Well, because it was part of our topic that I emailed you today, the love bombing, the gaslighting. Did you? So did you ask to see if she had? Did you see if she had any meds?
Oh yeah, she had
any prescriptions.
She had prescriptions.
Yeah,
she had prescribed and non-prescribed.
Right, that's your first clue, bro.
All kinds.
Right,
she was like a pharmacy.
Right. Yeah, that's your first clue. Don't fall in love. Have a good time and then run like hell.
Yeah, right, exactly. And that I probably learned the most from that one, actually. Don't catch feelings, don't fall in love, especially when you know what you're getting into. And that was the thing. I knew what I was getting into, but I couldn't stop. But
well, you're
because it was just that good.
You're getting 3 personalities for the price of 1.
Yes, you were. That's exactly it. Yeah. So
he was getting it like in public areas.
It
was wild. It was wild. But and I tried to get out of that thing. And she just, there were things like I tried breaking up numerous times. And one of them, a lot of people have probably experienced this or heard the stories. I'm like, I'm done. I'm out. She goes back. She lived a couple hours away, and she was a traveling nurse that would come to my area, and we would meet when she was in town. But I had broken up with her probably the 5th or 6th time. And she went back home, and I get a call. And she's like, I'm taking a bunch of whatever med it was. I can't handle life without you. I'm ending it. I'm like, what the fuck? So it was that kind of craziness, right? That would bring me back in because, I have some empathy here and there. And I'm like, wow,
we all do.
Want this. Yeah, right? Like, I don't want her to hit reset because of me before I realized this was just all a bunch of gaslighting and craziness, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's a really weird world out there now, dude.
Oh, it's wild. It's wild. Yeah.
Very wild. So are you with anybody today, Lee?
Nah.
No?
No, I'm not messing with it. Yeah, I have a friend that I meet every now and then,
Oh, friends with benefits.
I just need to get her done. I just need to get her done.
That's a tricky one. But
it's a different world.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just can't. I struggle with it. It's just not who I am. And we talked about this, Lane, and I want to elaborate on this a little bit, right? I, like you, I was always in relationships prior to my ex-husband and very monogamous and very loyal, right? Like loyal to a fault. And then, no, for real. And then,
so, folks.
I was loyal. When I was in a relationship, I was loyal. Okay. Now, with other people who may have been in a relationship, that's on
you. Didn't go to lunch with that one guy from work that you shouldn't have. Your work buddy. Oh, but you were loyal.
When I was in a relationship, no.
Yeah,
no, absolutely not. No, I was always have been very, very loyal.
Yeah.
Always.
See, I'm with you. I was too. Like I've never cheated. Always just a very loyal.
Very loyal.
I've never been a cheater because I think that sucks.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not happy, if
you
I
break up for a couple days, get it done, get it out of the way, and then get back together.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, I agree with you. No, honestly, when I'm just not happy, I'm just not happy, and I get the hell out. So anyway, neither here nor there.
Sometimes you need to realize how happy you were. Where are you going?
Oh God,
I'm single.
So anyway, so I struggle, and I still struggle. I still struggle with this world today, where it's like you need to be half in, half out, right? And I'm the type of person that when I fall in love, I'm all in. I'm all in, and I want to be vulnerable because it's only great when you become that vulnerable.
But the problem is now that's considered gaslighting. If you're all in quickly, right, then it's gaslighting and all this other crap. Like you can't even like start a good, solid loving relationship without somebody questioning all of the psychological mumbo.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like,
right.
Yeah, you're like, there needs to be like a blood test or something to see if, like,
seriously,
not crazy.
Or a medicine cabinet chest.
I mean,
Right.
well, admittedly I do. I forget what the name of the app is because I own a bar. I get people used to have women come in and whatever, and I got burned a couple times. So I actually checked their background. So I met this girl in Florida walking down the street out the bars. Turns out she's on the federal watch list.
For what? Does it say? Or is it just
I'd
on the watch list?
I'd rather not
All right.
say. But thank
Fair.
God I have the app because she was a little bit younger, and I would have ended up in a hole in the ground somewhere. And funny enough, we were both opposite parties. And I think some of her watch list was probably protesting and stuff like that. Like, and you would have never know. It looked like the sweetest little thing. In the meantime, she's Molotov cocktail in your car in the middle of Washington D.C. Seriously, I shit you not. I was on vacation. It didn't last long, so I'm not on the list anymore.
So
But
I'd love to hear from the audience now that we're done hearing about
the
Mike's.
app. No, all I'm saying is get the app so that you can put in their name and their phone number, and it pulls up like.
Yeah.
These days, it's smart to do that. It really is. It's not just for women to check. We all
if they had
should.
800 speeding tickets, there's something wrong with them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. So I'm curious, and I'm asking the audience if you could please respond. And Lee, you too, right? How many people feel that they are single today because they are scared shitless to be vulnerable again?
There's a part of that definitely with me. You get burned enough times. It's like, is it worth it to mess with it?
Let's say there was no internet and you lived on a farm and a couple farms miles away and there was the farmer's daughter or whatever. Would you marry her?
You're not going to sleep with a sheep.
No, I'm just saying, the farmer's daughter.
That's where my head went to.
Point being is that there's so much access to the grass is greener, right?
Yeah.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. Sometimes there's no grass at all. Anyway,
but that is the problem.
I digress. Trying to do something right, do something nice there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a messed up world. I mean, like we're all connected to so many things.
Chastity agrees. Anybody else?
Wait, what does Chastity agree with?
The fact of feeling like they're single because they don't want to become vulnerable again. Like they're scared to become vulnerable again.
I mean, you only live once. Come on, Chastity. I mean,
So I say this because it's a real thing.
The definition of insanity.
I think that there are so many singles out there,
right?
Because of the fact that they allow them initially when they first became single. When they first became single, they allowed themselves to just kind of go with it, right? And tell somebody that they really like them or be vulnerable, and then they got their heart hurt. Or they were told that they were gaslighting, or whatever the case may be. And
by the time you get to our age, you don't have a heart anymore. So then you just might as well get out there and start dating.
That's exactly how
find someone to warm it up for you a little.
That's exactly how people are feeling.
Yeah.
That they almost don't even have a heart anymore.
But I don't think you should give up on humanity because of somebody else. You know what I mean? Like
it's true.
No. I'm not saying no. Here's the thing. I'm not saying it's because of one person. I'm saying because of the environment that we're in today, right? The environment that we're in today is that you go on a date with somebody. Right. The minute that they leave that date, guess what? They're back on the app.
I think he's getting arrested. You
good,
bro? Do you have to hop the fence? Bring the phone with you. Continue the show. All right.
Just like they call the cops. I'll stay on.
Show. I gotta run. Oh my God, how awesome would that be?
Don't get us sued, please. Don't get us sued. Okay?
There's a girl in a white suit behind you checking over the fence.
That's really
funny.
But you bring up a good point that there's just too many options. And like you said, as soon as people break up, and I've done it too in this past 10 years, where it's like you get off you break up with someone and you're right back on the apps. And there's always this sense of like, but maybe there's someone better out there, so it becomes harder, I think, to commit. Yeah, grass is always greener. There's always a prettier sheep, if we're
that should be a dating site.
The grass is always
green.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't need the site to say that because that's how everybody thinks and feels. They go on this date and the person might meet like 85% of everything they wanted, but because of that 15%, they're back on the dating site looking for that 100%.
6'5",
but none of us are willing to compromise at all.
Are you afraid to be vulnerable, Drew?
No, Drew's asking afraid to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the question, right?
Listen,
How many?
we're men. We're not afraid of
Exactly.
anything.
Everyone is so accessible and so many options. It seems
Fearless.
so saturated. No one cares to dive in. There
I
you
mean,
go.
I found it so I hate online dating so much that I found it depressing because you're like, no, 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 and then you get on Match and you're like, no, no. Well, Match actually kicked me off, but I didn't.
Why am I not?
It said that I wasn't ready for the kind of or not Match. Is it Match?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like not ready for whatever. I mean, I was 25. Of course, I wasn't ready for Match. That old dude telling you we can match you on your whatever the fuck. Anyway, um, but I think it's like depressing because there's like 3 or 4 apps that you can use, and you're going through, and you're like, nah, 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 yes, right, and then that person doesn't like you or whatever, or you go out with that person, doesn't work out, then you keep going, so you go through like 2,000 people, and you're like, oh my god, Pennsylvania's ugly. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm gonna be hated today. Anyway,
welcome to Michael.
but it's like depressing. You're like, but like I don't want to go through the 2,000 people I don't want to date. I just want to find the couple that I do want to date. So I personally
welcome
like
to the rest of the world. That's exactly how we're
but
all
I
feeling.
personally like going out. Like, you know, you're gonna go out and you're like Target acquired. I'm gonna talk to her friend and then I'm gonna get her to introduce me.
Get it. Going out is ideal.
That's why they made alcohol.
But ready singles, I think you're gonna be able to relate. When you are home and you don't feel like going to a bar because you don't feel like drinking because at 40, 50 years old,
the app is
that's the last thing that's on your mind. Hear me out.
No, you're not accomplishing anything.
Hear me out. And you're home and you're alone and you're lonely. What do?
You go out
on the dating. No.
You get some goddamn friends and you go out, get out of the house. Yes.
No.
Yes.
Not everybody has a desire to go sit at a bar.
That's the problem. Well, then go somewhere else. Go to the roller skating rink, the bowling alley, go to the mall.
The roller skating
rink. I mean, I don't know.
The mall.
The sock hop, you know. By the way, you know why they call it sock
around?
hop? They actually used to dance in their socks.
What?
Yes. My mother showed me some freaking show today. They were dancing in Italy in their socks, the sock hop.
Okay, maybe in Italy.
Yeah. That was here too.
Really?
They would take all the shoes and not mess up the dance floor.
Oh.
And they would pull their.
See, you were so considerate back in the day.
Right?
Now you ask somebody to take their shoes off when they walk through the door, and they're like, "What?"
And the girl stood on the wall, right? You know, so you could pick them and ask them to dance instead of like, you know, mingling with their.
And the girls were on one side, and the boys. Honestly, I mean, I was born in the '70s, but I remember in grade school that my dances were like that.
Basically, it was like a real life Tinder. Yeah. You're like, no.
Swipe, swipe, swipe.
Wait, what did you say, Drew? What was that? That's my problem, not wanting to go out when I have free time.
But that's depressing on its own. You don't want to sit at home and then you go through some shitty dating app and the girls will get back to you and then you watch
bat mitzvah.
Bat mitzvah. That's funny. I mean, you could wedding crash.
Now, see, that I would do.
Right?
That would
be
fun.
fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I'll tell you what. I always wanted a funeral crash. In wedding crashes,
that would be interesting.
Like when I was single in my heyday, when I was, you know, yeah.
God.
You know, funeral crashers. Oh my God. Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I have looked around at funerals like, oh, I wonder. Probably not the right place.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, if you're the DJ, I mean, there's not a DJ. Well, if it's an Irish funeral.
Boy, if I'm a DJ at a funeral, that'd
Lena, I agree with you. I prefer meeting people in person as well. But I have to say, like me personally, when I am doing events and I'm working a day job in the business and everything else, when I have downtime, I have downtime. Like I want to take that downtime to sit home and relax. I don't want to go to a bar. I don't want to go out. So
that's what they make brunch parties for.
So no, it doesn't matter what time of the day. If I want to relax on my couch, I want to relax on my couch. But when you're relaxing on the couch, you may not necessarily want to be alone.
Doing that. Right.
Exactly.
Go to movie tavern.
That's why I joined a singles group. We're all in the same situation. Exactly, Jeff. Exactly. And we are. And that's the key for this podcast, right? And I hope that's one thing that you all walk away from this podcast every time is that there is a whole community of us out there that are going through the same things. We're going through the same emotions. We are feeling the same fears and the same stressors and hoping and praying that we meet that person and so on and so forth. We're in this together. So I just want everybody to understand you're not alone. Please, use this forum as a way to get out what you're thinking and feeling. And that means calling in too. I put a link into the Facebook event for you to be able to call in. Let us know what you're thinking.
Well, I think it gives you something to talk about, right? So people are like, what do I say when I go to the singles events? I don't know what to say to people if I like them or whatever. hey, I was on the podcast. Did you see the show? It gives you something to talk about. You know, Mike's an asshole. Rosie's funny. Elaine, the guest, that was great. Give the girl something to, like, you know, talk about a little bit.
I'm sorry. Did you hear it? Did somebody tell you?
I'm quite all right with it. Listen, that's what I'm on the show. You brought me on to be a nice guy. I mean, like, come on. And I'm some kind of entertainment. Give me love every day around here, right, Rosie? Oh.
Moving on. Anyway,
She
but
doesn't
you
like to be touched, guys.
right. No. So anyway, but you do see why I brought him on, right? I mean, he is pretty
Slightly animated.
and entertaining.
just a little bit.
I would like to point out that you know, something like 40 women were drugged in Boston over the weekend.
Yeah, you were telling me.
And there's this cool little thing that you can buy. Not only can you buy it at my bar, but you can buy them online, and it's like a little like scrunchie. It covers your drinks.
Yeah. Ladies, that's a really good idea. I might actually be getting them for BeVisionary.
And I'm not one for marketing. And like, I don't, you know, generally we all look out for you at our events and things like that anyway. And it sucks that 40 is a big number. Like, I've been in nightlife for 20 years. I've never heard of one town of 40 people getting drugged. Like, that's
a shame.
It's pretty wild.
A little shitty and over the top.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Like,
somebody was on a mission. I wonder how often he got laid that night.
Yeah.
Or, you know, raped someone.
Funny enough, it's happened to me
You're
3 times,
more
and it makes me
accurately that.
violently angry.
Say that again?
It's happened to me where I like picked up a girl's drink and drank it or whatever when I was out. Makes me violent. Like, it's the last thing you would, like, you're not sleeping with me if you drug me. I mean, like belong in jail violent. Whatever GHB or whatever that shit is, it is not a good mix for me. Like, it's horrible. I don't know how. First of all, it's disgusting that people do that kind of thing. So,
I agree. Yeah.
But
you got to get out there if you are actively trying to meet your someone. I completely agree with you, Selena. Completely agree with you. You definitely got to get.
So you coming out this weekend, Selena? Because we haven't seen you in 3 weekends over here at Midtown Social. So what's up?
We have events every week. That's right, Jeff. We do.
The Big Dombrowski.
Yep.
Right. That's gonna be his name now when we see him at singles events. Right. The Big Dombrowski. That's how you're gonna introduce him to women.
So no, I completely agree. We definitely have to get out, but then there are times where we just had a long week. We're exhausted. We may not want to, and I get it. I get getting on the dating sites or during those times. I understand.
You are encouraging laziness.
Stop.
No.
But the older you get, the less.
Every time you do something you don't. Every time you go out and do something you don't want to do, something positive happens.
I own an events company.
I don't care.
I am not pushing for people to be lazy or to sit home. But what I am saying is that it's reality, especially when you get 40, 50, 60 years old. You know, the week does tire you out sometimes. I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes.
Well,
right?
how about this? It's spring. Today was a nice day. The weather's nice.
Beautiful.
You've been hibernating since freaking December.
I work the day job.
When your family told you, oh, you're single again at Christmas. Well, now it's time to get out there and get the little rabbits jumping around. Get some Easter eggs. Get somebody to go down the shore with.
Please help me. Anyone that's on this podcast that lives in South Jersey, Cherry Hill area, we do events.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the dude. I don't know who the dude is, but the Dombrowski. Yeah, the Dombrowski is the dude. Yeah.
Dombrowski.
The Dombrowski. No, sorry.
Yes. So anyway, all right, moving on. So Lane.
I can't read it all on it.
Yeah. So you are single again, and you are doing dating sites at all? Or are you not?
No, I haven't in a while. No, it's probably been about a year since
you should
I've
check
got
out
on
Grindr. I hear it's really popular.
Oh God.
I wish I
swung
that way.
I just don't know.
I heard from a friend it's really great for a 5-minute date.
Oh my God.
And that's why I wish I
2
swung
minutes
that
is
way.
coming
That'd
up.
be easy, man. Man.
Oh my God. So I think I'm going to need to start every episode going forward by just saying I'm sorry for him. Like I'm already sorry for him. Let me just apologize.
And by the way, I'm not knocking the gays. Okay, that's all right. I don't mean to be.
The gays.
They're great people.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, come on. I mean, you know what? Everybody's having a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
All right, loosen up. It's a show.
Yeah. So yes, he's not knocking gay people.
No.
In any way, shape, or form.
Frankly, they make the best parties and they have amazing girlfriends. Yeah.
And they have great style.
Absolutely.
You know?
If there's a gay guy out with like 5 single girls, there's nothing better. Like you want him to introduce you.
I want a gay bestie.
I'll
gay
tell you
guy
this.
bestie.
If I get hit on by a gay dude, I'm way more flattered by that than a woman hitting on me. I'm like, oh, whoa, really? All right, cool. I mean,
100%. They
sorry,
got more
but
style.
yeah, right.
They have good taste
My friend is he's a hairdresser in the
in
city.
everything. They have good taste in everything. Dressing, like everything. The way that they take care of themselves, their homes, everything.
Yeah.
My friend's a hairdresser in the city, and I don't see him every once in a while now, but he always hits on me, even though he's got a boyfriend, because he knows it makes me just mildly uncomfortable, right?
That's
But
a good friend.
in the back of your mind, you're still like, well, at least he thinks I'm cute.
Yep.
I mean, like, whatever. I mean, God bless.
Yeah.
All right, so real quick, craziest place you've had sex?
I'm not touching that one.
Craziest place?
Her ear.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Currently.
Craziest location?
Oh.
Anybody want to share the craziest place?
I'm for legal reasons, I can't say anything. All right.
God, legal reasons. What the White House?
Well, Valley Forge Park when I was a kid growing up, most of the crazy stuff was when you're a kid, like you're a teenager.
Yeah, but the park is not that crazy.
Well, the cabins where Washington fought in.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, the doors used to be open.
Oh.
I mean, it's pretty much a rite of passage.
The wooden beds?
Yeah, it's pretty much a rite of passage. You go up where the George Washington statue is, and there's a little trail that goes down the hill, and there's a little cabin that's open. Yeah. And then you go for Burger King, and you hop the wall where they used to have the motorcycle training, and Burger King was open 24 hours a day on the
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Lane.
What's the craziest place you have? Either one of you. Mine's probably in a bar.
Well, he just
when
saw
it
that.
was open.
George Washington's house.
Well, probably one of the fighters.
That's pretty sweet.
And I'm sorry, what was that, Lane?
Oh, the craziest one for me probably just in a bar while it was open, without getting caught, with people around. That's fun.
Were they cheering you on? What kind of bar was it?
It was a little dive bar.
Yeah. It was like a swingers bar. They're like, you're up next.
You're getting pats on the back.
You mind if I rub your butt, buddy? You're looking pretty good over there. It is a strange world. It is not for me. But it is a strange, that swingers life thing is a strange.
Yeah,
I tried that out a little bit.
On Air Studio while on the radio. Oh, good one, Jordan. He was on the radio.
Awesome.
Yeah. He used to talk on a radio station.
You're like, hello, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Literally.
Next up on stage, Amber.
Oh my goodness. Anybody else want to share? Craziest place? Craziest place. Anybody?
No movie theaters.
I have one.
Oh,
I
struck a chord on that one, folks.
No, I don't know if I'm sharing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because yours are both pretty mild.
Well, mine was like tiny. Yeah. Yours is not mine.
Oh,
gee,
oh, but then let's hear it. Come on.
Listen, this is going to be a follow-up show at least, folks. So.
Yeah, mine's not mild.
All right.
Okay, moving on.
All right.
Anybody else want to share? No?
No.
Okay. All right. So,
have any of you had sex?
Stop it. Oh my God.
Oh my God, I'm just kidding.
So rude.
It's a comedy show.
He's so rude. He's rude. Has anybody had sex within the last 5 years? I'm just kidding.
Wait. The fire tower.
You've had sex on the fire tower?
I was at my friend's gonna kill me. So I was at my friend's wedding, and the wife's stepmom was like penthouse hot. But I was like 21 at the time. And everybody bet me that I couldn't hook up with her.
And you did?
Yeah.
That's perfect. Because, yeah, there's something early 20s, like an older hot
I wasn't invited to a second wedding, I can tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second wedding. That's hit me.
Right, I wasn't invited to a second
wedding. Into She Bangs by Ricky Martin.
She banged.
In the Atlantic Ocean once. Okay. Ocean. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, Kevin. Oh, you dog, Kevin. Yeah, you do have to watch out for the beach, though. You ever had sand lice?
No.
Oh my God.
I've had sex on the beach, but
you gotta watch Sex on the Beach. That is not a
with a blanket, of course.
Doesn't matter.
Really?
Yeah, they're little sand crabs. I have not had them.
Oh,
but-
I was gonna say you talking
No.
You know, from experience.
Yeah, no, I've heard like from friends that live in Florida, whatever. I'm like, I'm never doing that. I don't care. But it's the moon and the yeah. No, I'm all right. No. Some of those sand crabs are like this big.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah. Ooh, no, thank you.
No.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
All right. So, Lane, do you have any advice for people who are maybe stepping into the single world?
Meet people in person.
Keep the wife. Keep the wife.
Yeah.
Don't be single.
To keep her.
It's really not that bad.
Stay away from apps.
In my car in a Target parking lot.
What was his name?
And this will be an unpopular opinion, probably, but
I'm sorry.
look, I'm just going to say, and it says something about me also. I admit that, but on the apps, it's crazy people. You know what I mean? Right? The large majority, I think, it's like meet people in person, or maybe do meetup. People with similar interests, people like that. The apps are wild, man.
You got to watch those meetup groups. I mean, they're good. They're good. But some of them aren't what they say they are. Let's put it that way. Like, it's like, oh, we're the ski club, but we've never gone skiing.
Oh, got it. I thought you were going to say like they were orgies or something.
No. It's just, I think honestly, your singles events have a larger variety of people. I think some of the meetups are like hiking and stuff like that. You just got to be like real selective. You got to really look into the groups and make sure they are what they kind of say they are.
Yeah.
Like,
I think they're all different. I mean,
Yeah.
some are better than others, and it all depends on what you're into.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably do have meetups for orgies and stuff.
it's called Craigslist. I think they all know
that. That's funny. Anyway, all right. So I agree with you, Lane. That's a really good piece of advice. Just get out and meet people in person. Forget about the dating sites and just enjoy life.
Because I like, when we were going out back in the day, I'm not sure if you lived in the area, but I mean, like, we were all in the same clubs every weekend, and like,
yeah,
you created these large groups of friends, and then the groups got bigger, and then when you hopped over to another club, it's like some of those friends were friends with those friends, and then you had another group of friends, and then like there was never
friends.
Yes, well, they still hate you, but whatever. There was still like a large pool of people to pull from every weekend, even though you were kind of out with the same 3 or 4. It just kept going on and on and on. A Zoom date.
Yeah, what's a Zoom date?
Taylor wants to go on a Zoom date with you. Oh.
That's a boyfriend.
I thought Taylor wanted to go on a Zoom date with Lane. I was like, yo,
Lane been on a Zoom date. Have you ever gone on a date online?
On a Zoom date?
Have you ever had an online date? Yeah.
That's a thing?
I know. I didn't realize it was.
Oh, I guess people did that stuff during COVID, huh? They did these
Let me-
video dates.
Let me tell you something. After this show, it's the only way my girlfriend's going to talk to me is on a Zoom date.
Mike has like been broken up with 50 million times because of this show.
I'm going to have that bell in my ear. You know when Zoom comes on, it's like ding, 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 ding.
So I'll tell you what, before we leave, I would like to ask the audience if you could please comment on what it is that you would like to hear from Modern Dating WTF. What type of subjects would you like to talk about and hear about going forward?
And if you want us to call your ex and tell them how bad they sucked, dial 1-800-WTF, and we will make that happen for you on show, on air. No, but something like
that'd be a great service.
Yeah, I know, right? That would be awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, Europe.
Yeah.
No, but I think that we would like to get both sides of the story, a show where we can get both sides of the story without someone getting heated and having the police involved. But I think it would be interesting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you have some ideas for us, we want to hear them. Lane, we could get you back on the show. Get out there a weekend. And
God, I wonder if I could get her on. That would be fun. If I could get her on the show.
The one
the stalker ex. I mean, from a distance over the phone, not in person, but that could be fun.
That would be fun.
Let us know if we need to hire security.
Right.
So then we would hear her side of the story when she talks about how Lane just sucked in bed.
Yeah.
And we had to do it. And we had to do it at a restaurant in front of the public to make it more exciting for me.
That's right.
Ooh, double dates. Yes. Absolutely.
Oh, Lane, I'm just kidding. Thanks for being such a good sport. I appreciate that. Okay, so Taylor wants to talk about double dates. Okay.
Well, Taylor, that's being a little. She's being a little vague there. There's a story there about.
Oh
double
my
dates.
goodness, she's not meaning sexually.
Well, that's not what I was saying.
Oh,
But I'm
okay.
just saying
Do
there's a
we know
story
that?
there. She's only asking.
My
the
mind
question.
is. No, I'm
Right.
kidding.
I know, Taylor. Were you out with two guys at the same time, or was it two couples? Did you go home with the other one? Did you switch?
Okay, what were you?
Those
what
are
were you
well.
thinking?
No, I think there's more to the story in the question there. So like double dates, is it for safety? Going out for safety? Like your friends going out with like two guy friends? What like why are we asking about double dates? We need a little
Yeah,
more.
like what about the double dates? Like, are you asking for places, suggestions of where to go? But I think before we talk about double dates, I think our singles kind of want to talk about just one date, right? Like, let's
Well,
talk
no,
about being able
but
to find that person.
double dating could be a comfortable way to go out and meet people.
Well, I think that would be a great way if, like for instance, Taylor and her boyfriend,
like well,
if they each brought a single friend.
Emma and I will
did
take
a
you out on a
double date.
double date. Take your your next boy toy or
Woody?
whatever. Yeah, your next boy
Like
toy.
Woody.
Your
My
Woody.
Woody. See, my boyfriend. I told you about Woody. Didn't I tell you about Woody? I never told you about Woody. Oh my God.
Is it a real? Is he human?
So
Right,
Woody,
right.
Woody is my
Little
blow up boyfriend.
I am not going out with you on a blow up boyfriend. No.
Woody is amazing. He like always stands at attention. He never argues for the remote. Oh my God, he's the best. He comes with me to family. He goes with me on family outings.
He's never talks back.
Never,
Right,
never.
right.
We don't.
He's got a really deflated ego.
Yeah. Great listener.
Oh, please don't.
Anyway, moving on. No, so Woody is the make-believe boyfriend that I made up because you know how it is when you're single for so many years. The family is always talking about this, that, and the other, and for every holiday and event, I'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna bring my, blow up doll Woody."
Okay, well, speaking of holidays, have you ever paid anyone to go to pretend to be your
Negative.
boyfriend? So
No.
the family's not like, oh, single again on Christmas.
No, because they would interrogate him too much and he'd be screwed.
Oh,
Yeah, like crazy double date stories. Look up the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody episode. Okay.
All right, we'll check it out.
Long distance. Actually, long distance is a good one.
My buddy Mo is.
And how to navigate that long distance relationship. That's a good one.
Those are tough.
They are tough, but they seem to be doing a
Somebody's
good job at it. Taylor, can we share the news about what you shared with me? So Taylor and her boyfriend Rob met at one of my events
She didn't say yes.
9 months ago.
She didn't say you could.
No, they just celebrated their 9-month anniversary.
Oh.
Yeah.
What are they naming the baby?
Congrats.
What are they naming the baby? Stop. And they're actually going to be taking it to the next level soon. So
Level 2.
Yeah. Which is very exciting.
Unlocked.
Second base.
Very slow moving game.
Lane, you really do have a radio voice. I have to tell you, it's pretty funny.
Tis true.
Yeah. Do you like narrate your sexual encounters?
No, but
a
lot of friends have suggested, like, they're like, dude, you need to try to get work narrating porn.
Oh,
like,
God.
That might be cool.
Oh.
There you go. There's a new profession for you.
Maybe for blind folks,
I got so much
explainer porn.
Yo, wait, that's a real that's a real thing. That is it's a straight up real thing. Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Takes Braille to a whole other level.
Yeah.
You need to look into that, seriously.
I really do.
For it.
Is that 3 dots or 4 dots?
Anyway, all right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Modern Dating WTF. We actually will not be back in 2 weeks. We will be back on March 31st at 8 p.m. again. So please do me a favor, share it with your friends, with your family, so that they could join us, regardless if they're single or not. Singles, we're here because we want to make sure to share the misery because we know how crazy it is. Couples, couples can also listen in because a lot of times couples are in those situations where do I want to stay in this relationship? Do I not? And then when they hear about the dating crazy that's out there, guess what? The grass isn't greener on the other side. It's going to make them appreciate their spouse more. So please invite your married friends, invite your single friends, whoever, pass it along, and let's get modern dating WTF bigger than life so that all singles out there know that they are not alone in this crazy world. And I'm sorry, Michael, what were you saying?
No, I was just curious because that's March 31st. So I think we're open that night. It's a March Madness. I think March Madness is still going on.
Oh, okay. Well, that's even
We'll be
better.
our March Madness show.
Yeah,
We'll be
that would be great.
balls everywhere, basketballs everywhere.
Awesome.
Lots of balls.
Right?
Yeah.
We're going to be getting dunked on.
Oh, geez. Oh, geez. Anyway, all right, Lane, thank you so much
All right,
again for
thank you all
joining
very
us.
much.
It was a pleasure. And
you.
to everyone else, have a good night.
Cuddles.